Coming to you from Lagos, Nigeria, it's Moments Girls Talk. Tonight's guests are star comedians Lepacious Bose and BOVI. They take on the fascinating topic of paying dowry.
We're going to be talking about bride price and dowry and what that means.
What is the reason for paying dowry? Is it still necessary in today's world?
One thing I do know is that when you go to pay this bride price or this dowry, sometimes they tell you what you can provide, don't want you monetize it.
So the guy said, number one, I didn't prepare for that. Number two, can we just do like a check?
The normal money.
Check here. The guy he had spent money now. Let me just drop like maybe 5K and let's move on.
There are families who tell you, you know what, it's my daughter you're getting married to. Show up that day and come and get married. We will do all this, but don't worry, I will handle them.
The woman said, no, he has to be like
That's
this, he has to be like that. And you know, how they are so in your face, you are not even the mother of the bride. So, the guy just stood up.
Bose weighs in on a true life story. All coming up now.
Welcome back to Moments Girls Talk. It is now time for us to get into the gist of today. We're going to be talking about bride price and dowry and what that means. Now, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember that app last year that was very, very popular called
your bride price.
The Bride Price.
Yeah.
And it was basically,
And you had to calculate
yes,
it.
like how much would you be worth?
You don't remember. You saw it. That one.
was-
You
it
must
was
the Nigerian side.
Was it
where
last
you
year or
had
the
to-
year before?
It was last year where you had
Was
to
it last
write.
year?
They'll ask you what you're attracted to, who you are. You know,
What
and
do you
then, and then
do
you
on
calculate
the
at the end of the day,
criteria,
and it
like,
shows
did
you are wife material
Yes.
or not.
Are
you for real?
Yes!
I didn't see
It was
that.
I
really
missed that.
popular.
It was
a way-
hilarious.
I would have
I
loved
was
it
like
to.
95% wife material.
Are you serious? I never did mine. I
I
just
think
saw
I
it.
cheated.
I was about to ask, are you
think I
sure?
cheated.
But
Shade! She just threw shade at me.
Are you sure? You know, because 95, that's really high. You didn't say 85.
I just said
or
yes to
70.
so many things. Like, do you cook?
You could, yes.
Yes,
I
yes,
was about
yes,
to-
I got 95.
But, you know, we hear about all these different dowry lists that are sent out. And the fact is, there's actually a difference between bride price and dowry. I want to read a recent dowry list that I came across, and it says items for dowry. And I'm going to read through. It's 22 different items, 6 bottles of seaman, 12 jars of upper wine, and then it gives a specific type. Maybe I'll just give you a few of the ones that I thought was quite interesting. 2 female antelopes, 20 cartons of soap, 22 carats gold necklace and earring, 80 wrappers, Nigerian wax,
Please,
20
which
wrappers,
city
Hollandaise.
or village is this?
Wait, this is North.
40,
actually.
wait, you guys, this one is the one that got me. 40 tubers of yam in brackets, not less than 6 kg each. 2 he goats, not less than 20 centimeters in height.
No.
And that was just a few ideas.
this is
There's
an exaggerated
22.
list.
Oh, I think the best one is 6 cartons of Viju milk.
No, can I just say that? And this is no shade
I
to my
mean-
Igbo brothers and sisters. I love you guys. If you're watching, I love Igbo people. But they have some things that, rappers, that's an Igbo
I mean,
man.
if you
That
guys
is
were
an
getting
Igbo
married-
man.
But I also don't think so, because my brother married an Igbo woman, and the list wasn't this crazy.
Was it like this?
No, it wasn't. He married someone from Oka, Accra, Anambra.
Okay.
The list wasn't really, really
I think
crazy.
it depends. I think it depends on the region in Nigeria, because a friend of mine who's northern got married, what was it, last year, and he was telling me, you know, the amount of things he had to bring, and he wasn't even aware of it. He said they had to bring like three trunks with clothes. So it was a total of, not even suitcases or trunks, like trunks.
Yeah.
It was a total of 11 trunks.
That
This is
sounds
aside
like
from
Benue
the
or
jewelry,
something.
aside from fabric, etc. And I thought, are you, like, you're kidding me? He said, no.
Where was the bride from?
I can't remember. She's from the north. I can't remember
North,
where
yeah.
it was she's
North,
from
yeah.
exactly. Then another thing that was interesting is that after doing all of this, she then has to cook for him after they've gotten married and she's moved to his house. Cook for him and then his family for a 2-week period, and she has to go and deliver the food herself every day for 2 weeks.
What?
And I'm like, but you guys would just be getting married. Shouldn't you go on your honeymoon? He said, no, this has to happen first. So I guess every
What do you
region
guys
has
think about
different,
these? What do you guys think about these traditions? Do you think that, you know, with dowry and bride price, do you think that they still should be taken so seriously?
The truth is, like she said, every region, every tribe, they have their varying lists and demands, But one common factor they share from time immemorial is that most of these things are supposed to be symbolical, So depending on the family you're marrying into, some will either take it too serious or some will mellow down for you. One thing I do know is that when you go to pay this bride price or this dowry, sometimes they tell you what you can provide, don't worry, you monetize it. So it's supposed to, yes, that's why I say it depends on the family. There are families who tell you, you know what, it's my daughter you're getting married to. Show up that day and come and get married. We will do all this, but don't worry, I will handle them.
Oh, wow. That's true.
You get it? So, sorry to say, many of the people who cling to these things and say, look, you must provide every single one. If you go and check, some of those things are born out of poverty, a poverty mental mindset you get. So everybody wants to get their own share. In my place, if you want to marry a girl and she's from a very large family, you will travel around taking drinks to meet her uncles, aunts, brothers. Like, they wait for it personally, like, you didn't bring drink to me. Yeah. This is apart from the day you want to now pay the dowry. But paying the dowry is symbolical. Some places the dowry is 2 naira.
Yeah.
So all these additives is actually to add color to the ceremony.
You're right, actually. I'm sure you've hosted a lot of weddings, so you might have seen people engagements and all that. But I personally feel like this is 2016. And even if it's symbolic to certain things, like, do you not think, if you, as a family of a girl, if my family brought out this list, I'd be ashamed. Because tomorrow, what's to say the guy cannot treat me anyhow after we paid this, we paid that, we paid this.
Well, I think also a lot has to do with with, like you said, the family and even the girl. I used to say this when I was very fat, that I carry my dowry around. I mean, my family is so desperate for me to get married that they actually contributed the dowry and said, "Oh yeah, hold it in case the men are scared because of your weight. Hold the dowry. You will pay. We, the family, will pay your dowry ourselves." It was that bad, And then after I lost weight, I told my friends, I said, now the dowry has changed though. The list is now very, very, very high because now I've paid the price now. You don't want to marry anyhow anymore. But sometimes the brides are very sensitive and they're like, please don't help me chase him. I know what it took me to get him. So they're like, please, mommy,
so basically,
please,
it's a feeding on it.
Yeah, they do. Because I used to do Alaga Joko.
Okay.
A long time ago, I used to do the whole MC for traditional weddings. So I know that the girls can actually have a say. And I also know that the most difficult ones are the ones where maybe she's an orphan or she's a stepdaughter or something where extended family members have a say. And so she really cannot put her foot down
so
and
then
say,
they ask for
and then
ridiculous.
That's when the list becomes crazy. Because like my sister-in-law, you can't give this kind of list to my brother when she was getting married. She would have told you, please, who is going to now stay in the house after you give us this list?
It's
no
true.
way.
And it's crazy what people ask for, because my way of thinking is, if the man's family has to provide all of this, why not give them the money to start their home?
Michelle, just hold that thought. The conversation continues.
I know a guy who went to do like an introduction and they started to give him a crazy list, including renovating the girl's father's house. And he's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make this very interesting. The wedding, we will not spare cost and all, but beat it down. And they were holding their grounds. He got angry, banged the table, and got up with his friends, and they were leaving.
Welcome back to Girls Talk Moments Nigeria. We were talking before the break about bride price, which is a really big deal in Africa, but especially in Nigeria. A lot of times families end up spending hundreds of thousands of naira, of dollars even. And then before the break, I was wondering why it is that families don't just give the bride and groom a large envelope or open an account and put the money in there rather than giving, what was the list You said 12 he
12
goats.
tubers of
You
yam.
know, or 12
60
tubers
each.
of yam and 2 he goats measuring however many centimeters. Where I'm from, I don't know where you're from, Bobby, but where I'm from, the bride price is, I think, something like 5 naira or 100 naira, because they joke about it and say, so that if you do anything to our daughter, when we collect her back, we'll just give you your 100 naira. And, you can go.
but
And I
actually-
prefer that. I
No,
like
but actually,
that.
that's dowry now.
Sorry, yes, no, either
Yeah.
bride price or dowry.
Bride price dowry is different
Yeah.
from the list.
No, true, because we're talking about
Yes,
both
different
dowry
from
and
the
bride
list.
price.
The bride price is different from the list.
No, of course, but the
Yeah.
thing with us is that, yes, there's certain things you ask for. You don't ask for ridiculous things like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I know with
understand
my
that.
dad, if he
because in
I
Yoruba
doubt he would
culture,
even
for
ask for the
example,
100 naira.
no matter how much your dowry is, we always return it.
Yeah, that's what I
You
was about
always
to say right now.
return,
They
yes.
return. Yoruba
They
people
always return the
dowries.
dowry.
Okay.
When my cousin got married,
Yeah.
the father gave them back the
They
dowry.
will
That
return
he
it.
said, we're not selling our child,
Yeah.
so you can have the dowry.
Okay,
Yoruba
so it's
culture.
part of the culture. You give the money, but then you
But
return
they
it.
Yeah,
return
you
it to you.
return
I think,
it.
but they only started returning it in recent times. In the olden days, didn't they used to keep it?
Yes. They
what's-
started returning it.
When people got educated, they
When
just started,
education, yeah.
So
they
what's
just
the
started
list
returning.
for?
The list is the things you bring
Lord
to, but the
knows.
brides, see, in Yoruba culture, for us, those lists, when you're doing your introduction, is actually when they bring those lists. And at the beginning of an engagement, there's always an introduction to introduce both families. The families cannot shock mawa, meaning they cannot come empty-handed.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So they're coming to greet you guys, which is why in Yoruba, I don't think we give them this kind of list. They just go and find out from their own family, what are we carrying? They bring oranges. They
Naturally,
bring,
we give them this.
Yeah,
In
you
Yoruba
are.
culture, we give them
But
this.
does it
It's just,
depend
it's just
on
not. It's
the
just not
region
this
of Yoruba land?
ridiculous.
most of them just do baskets of fruits. They do like materials. They do different things.
The
But I had a
juice,
friend in
water.
uni who was from the eastern part. I love Igbo people. I mean, they're my favorite people. Please don't think I'm from it. And she used to just tell me that, are you Igbo? Bobby? She used to just tell me that, the man is going to marry her. That's in Igbo land where she's from. They first have to line up with jeeps. Like 12 jeeps have to enter the community. First, they have to repaint her father's house in the village when they are coming. And that this men, when they bring their jeeps, then they have to bring a whole box of, just a whole suitcase. Jewelry is inside that suitcase alone. Jewelry that the family is giving to her. This is just her own present. Then they have to now buy expensive George. You know those George materials are not cheap.
for her
they have to
parents
buy
or-
plenty.
No,
for
my question now is, what if she doesn't find
A guy who
a
can
guy
actually
who can
do all
afford all
this.
that, and she falls in love with someone who cannot afford that?
Well, that's
they will not
that's why
accept.
the Igbo people especially don't get married on time.
time.
The guys work hard to make sure they make something out of themselves.
And there's always massive
before they
age
get
difference
married.
between them and their
Yeah.
wives. Because
Really?
then, they end up getting married to younger
But it's
girls.
a thin line. It's actually a thin line between the fanfare and the seriousness of it, you know, because if two rich people are getting married or two people from rich families are getting married, they don't emphasize on the things on this list because they do like 100 times what's in the list. Who's going to take yam and soap and video milk?
I've never heard about this.
No, that's why I said for two rich families. I know a guy who went to do like an introduction and they started to give him a crazy list, including renovating the girl's father's house. And he's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make this very interesting. You know, the wedding, we will not spare cost and all, but beat it down. And they were holding their grounds. He got angry, banged the table and got up with his friends and they were
And
leaving. They begged them to come back.
Oh yes,
They
I
begged
So
them
it's like
eventually.
they were sitting
How
in
do
the
you tell them
houses
to
going,
renovate the
we
house?
need our house to be
Oh, that's-
redecorated. Let's get
that happened
a
too.
fiance to do it.
The bride, I was doing the Alaga Joko again, and I was the Alaga Duro, which for the groom,
Okay.
and then the Alaga Joko is for the bride. And we came in, and the Alaga Joko said they had to give every denomination in Nigeria, they must give 10 pieces of each. So 10 5 naira, 10 naira, 10 20 naira, like that until they get to 1,000. And so the guy said, number one, I didn't prepare for that. Number two, can we just do like
They check.
The normal money
something,
that
check
you do.
care. The guy he had spent money now. Let me just drop like maybe 5K and let's move on. The woman said, no, he has to be like
That's how
this,
they
he has to be
are.
like that. And you know how they are so in your face. You are not even the mother of the bride. So the guy just stood up.
The guy didn't love the baby.
The
enough. Why
guy,
can't you disgrace me
the
on my
guy stood
engagement
up.
day like that?
After your drama, the guy stood up and he was walking out of the hall. The bride came out with plenty curses. Stop him, oh! I know him, he's my husband. Here we go. Here we go. He will not change his mind. That man, madam, it will go. If it goes, I will curse you, madam. I will destroy your life.
No, but the reason why is because of the women, the alagas, that's how they make money because it's their money.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They will milk. Sometimes you'll be like, okay, well, you've passed the basket around enough. It's okay. Go ahead and
Which
continue.
was actually
man
why I
that
started
walked
doing
away,
that stuff.
do you think
Because
that
I had to
man
cut off
loves
some
the
stuff.
woman? How do you walk
Absolutely,
away?
he loves
You know what I
her.
mean? It's a
These
bit
are
much to
people
expect
making
somebody to
things
do something
difficult.
ridiculous.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you know how many brides get to warn their family and the
Yeah.
alaga that do not make things difficult,
Yes.
please?
Yeah.
Because they know who
Yeah.
they're getting married to, one. And two, they know that this is just a ceremony. It's not about
Yeah.
them.
My friend was getting
know?
married, Bobby, at 38. 38. After plenty night vigils and plenty deliverance session. Then her family members now sat down and said the guy should bring some stuff. As in on the day of the engagement, the things the guy brought, they said it was not enough. He didn't bring this. He didn't. Then they now barricaded the entrance.
To stop him from coming in.
And so we're there for 1 hour. Nothing had happened. My friend was inside the room. Makeup on her face. Water was dripping down her eye. I went outside. The dog inside me, the area girl inside me came out. Because I remember that many nights of night vigil we had. I threw all the barricades away. And I said, if you guys ever attended one deliverance session with this girl, then you can put this barricade here. Let's start this thing now. You don't understand. As in, I'm not even a member of their family, but I was that angry. You can't do this to this girl, not on this day. I mean, if she was getting married at 24, you can do this drama. Not at 38. You want the guy to go back and bring all this stuff, or what are we
Even
supposed
if
to
she
do?
was 24.
I'm telling you, I
You
threw all
know?
the things out.
These are
mouth is
consumables
aching
we're
with that.
talking about.
I can't believe
These are
this actually
consumables.
happened. Like,
The
I'm
key thing is
shocked
they're
that this happens.
consumables.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
how can you
100,000
put a
tickets.
I'm
price on
happy we
someone's
had
marriage?
Bobby
Exactly.
and Lepacious because I know you both host a lot of weddings.
So you've seen all sorts. I've
I
never
just
heard.
see
I didn't know
food
this.
and drink at weddings.
Thank you.
I didn't know the
Oh, there's so
technicality
much
of these things.
technicality.
Oh, there is. There's a
do.
lot of technicalities.
But that they would do that at that point, though. What if the guy actually says, "That's it, I'm done"?
Then
The families are willing to take that risk.
What
No,
I
they don't
think,
expect you
you
to
know
say
what?
so.
Like
They
I've
expect you to say,
said,
"Don't worry, okay, take
well,
it."
let's hear.
like I've said severally today, you know, I think most of these things were started to add to the fanfare because you don't just want the girl coming out
Coming
and they
out,
say, okay,
yeah.
now this is your, you know, so they create activities and they became tradition. However, tradition, culture is dynamic, you know. So many of these things are changing, but some people just hold on to it like this must be how it's done.
Yes.
In our place,
Yes.
these are how
Yes.
things are done.
Yes.
So it's up to your family to be able to influence those people because if they don't, the people will influence
That's actually why I don't do Alaga Joko.
Can I just ask you, just hold that thought for a second? The conversation on dowries and bride prices is going to continue after this.
Welcome back to Moments Girls Talk. This conversation has been absolutely hilarious. Like Michelle and I were just saying over the break, we'll just be there eating rice stew, and Bobby was trying to say the kind of drama that happens, you know, behind the scenes at weddings. I had no idea. A day before the wedding, why don't you have meetings with each family to say, you know, this is what we're bringing? Why there?
Sometimes they do, you know, but personal interest comes. In my village, if you've not, they pay dues. If you haven't paid for years, they are waiting for you for the day you want to come and do something, and they will obstruct it. They will block it, you know. Then, yes, there are association of old women, association of old men, these different associations. Most of the bride price we pay are in rural areas. These places have no activities, so for them, this is like a concert. So they will make sure they milk the situation.
They have a good time.
You know.
All right, so let's move on to the question of the day. This has been such a very hilarious moment. I can't even get my thoughts together. All right, so the question of the day is, how much should a man be charged as bride price? I'm a Yoruba girl, I'll answer first. We don't collect it. Even if you bring 5 naira, they will return it back. And it's so unfair. Yoruba people, you people are always the ones, especially as women, we are the ones that carry the cost, we're the ones that do wedding. If you're marrying a Yoruba girl, you don't have any worries.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. The Yoruba girls spend the money, not the guys.
So her
Because
family
it's supposed to be like the family's last send-off.
Send off for the girl. So they do the wedding. We don't collect anything. They do everything.
That's unfair.
It's
Yoruba
imagine
man-
my dad who has 3 girls, right?
Yeah.
like I keep saying, all that is still when you are getting married at a certain age. You can't be getting married at 35 or 38 or 40 or something, and then your family is spending money. They won't spend any money. You are now an adult. You carry your wedding on your head yourself. That's the fact.
So the woman, for
No
example,
matter how
to your
rich your
friend,
family is, they
did
just
your
really-
friend pay for her wedding herself?
Yes, she's an adult.
But did her husband contribute?
Yes.
So
Okay, fine.
technically, in this day and age, with Yoruba culture, what's supposed to happen now is it's not as strict. I believe that people now come together.
together.
You know, you're like, oh, we'll give a little bit of this, but traditionally,
It's the bride's
if
family.
they choose to contribute, the husband's family, nice.
can.
They don't
They
have to.
don't, yeah.
And you
That's why
cannot
they all
force them
have
to.
different colors sometimes. The groom's color, the
Yeah,
bride's
I'm
color,
sure
the
we're
groom
talking about
has food.
families that are really, really wealthy. Like, it doesn't matter. You have to pay for that
Yeah.
wedding yourself.
So if you have boys, you're lucky because then you guys are just going to visit in the girl's family.
Exactly.
And they do the wedding and you just say, okay, we're
Sorry
married.
for your dad. Tell him I said sorry.
So how much do you guys think a man should be charged for bride price?
I don't think a man should be charged, you know. Like, for you people, it's symbolical now. The truth is, even most places is symbolical. You know, the actual bride price, you know, as to the fanfare, is what has helped to preserve our tradition as a people to a large extent. If not, people will run off and get married in Vegas and come back, and that's it, you know.
My friend is
a
from
field day.
somewhere in Niger Delta. Till now, the dowry is still like 10 cowries. Till now.
10 cowries.
10 cowries, all those tiny cowries, and they put it in a bag and they put it in their their grandfather's house. So when you want to divorce, if you have to divorce, you just go back and take the one with your name on it and return it to the groom's family.
Symbol.
It's just simple.
Symbolical.
Yeah,
It should not be monetized at all.
at all.
Okay, thank you guys for coming. This has been we picked the right guest on this episode. I'm actually happy because we picked people who are in the know.
Yeah.
And no guesswork was done. This was really refreshing. You guys should totally come again. But before we let you go, it's a symbolic tradition here that you get to share with us a celebrity secret or a throwback picture. We're not monetizing it. It's symbolic.
I was about to ask if I
symbolic.
could pay and get away with that. Bobby, please share your
I
secret
like that
because
she's
I have
like,
none.
forget about ladies first. Go ahead.
My first sexual encounter was when I was 5.
I said it. I said it. I said it. I said it.
5.
she
You were
was-
sexually abused, boo.
I won't say it's abuse
were-
because she
was
was
not
underage
abused.
as well. She was 13.
That was
That's
on
so you took advantage. Wait.
Hold on.
Go on.
Let's let him finish.
Yeah, so we were neighbors. We were neighbors in Benin, the twin duplex. So she would take me into when her folks are out, take me upstairs, and we'll just play. She was young. She was a small girl as well. Probably
Bobby,
exposed to
13
too much
was
at
not a
that
small
age.
girl.
No, she was small. I'm not talking of this
You are defending-
modern day.
No, there's a difference
agriculture
between
thing.
13 now and 13
Yeah.
then. There's
Yeah,
a
well,
difference.
Have
Yeah.
you seen her?
I won't even know her. I'm talking of, this is 1985. This is 1985, and I remember because that was the year we moved out of that house. That's why I remember
thank
how
God
old
for your mother.
how old I was. You know?
Did you ever
It
tell
went
your
on
mom
for a
or
while. I
anyone
never
about
told
Tell who?
anybody. I never thought
Tell
of
who?
anything. I didn't make any big issue out of it. You know, if it affected me in any way, I think when I became matured and started dating, I was more attracted to older women.
girls. Yeah.
Interesting.
You
That will
know,
happen.
so that's, if at all it affected me, that was the effect.
I don't wear clothes when I'm at home.
Okay.
So do you think you're
We
a
seem
nudist?
to be getting a lot of nudists.
And we also had someone share their first sexual encounter as well today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a sexual thing.
So
So you don't wear
I don't
clothes?
want to remember my first sexual experience.
It was that bad?
Okay.
It's been an interesting girls talk. Very interesting.
Dowries and
go
bride
there.
price for sexual experience.
On that note, we would let our guest leave us now.
Thank you so
all
much.
for coming.
Thank you so much.
This
Thank
has been
you.
very interesting. Very, very interesting. Coming up on Moments Girls Talk, it is your moment.